try to maybe we can start to talking about you, Amber, who you are. Who are you, madam?
Hello, everybody. My name is Amber Jean, and I've been instructing and practicing the rocket for 22 years. My home base is Cincinnati, Ohio, and I studied directly with Larry Schultz. So I took my yoga training in May of 2000 with Larry in San Francisco, and that began my rocket journey. And pretty much after that, I ended up coming back and teaching full time, and eventually opening a rocket studio here in Cincinnati. I'm also a full time mother. I have two beautiful sons, and I am a writer. I've written a lot for teacher training programs for my school, but also other schools. And yeah, I'm a yogini.
Nice. We can say we can also tell to people like because like we are rocketers and we take for granted to know what's rockets and who is Larry Schultz. No, like but
Right.
you for me like I've been trained in rocket in Florence by the it's yoga movements and I always had these beautiful stories about Larry Schultz and I met Marie the wife, but I didn't have the opportunity to meet Larry. So who can you tell us about a little bit more about how the rocket as came into your life, how Larry Schultz and who is Larry Schultz and how Larry came into your life? No, it would be interesting to understand.
Oh, when they say, there's an old saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And for me, that happened with Larry. Larry studied traditional Ashtanga yoga, and he was more of a thinker in yoga, and so he started to play around with the Ashtanga yoga sequences, and ultimately he wanted to make them more accessible. So Larry started to play around with the sequences, and he eventually formulated a system of yoga, and that system became known as the rocket system, because it offers routines for every day of the week. Larry had a studio in San Francisco, and it was one of the first yoga studios in the United States. And so this was back in the late 90s. This was before you saw yoga studios on every corner. There was no social media about yoga. And so it was a very kind of forward thinking thing to do, is for an American to be teaching yoga that normally you would only see Indian gurus teaching and sharing with students. So Larry became a bad man because of that, because he wanted to kind of change the way that the teachings were shared. Uh, Before Larry, Ashtanga yoga was mostly um, shared from the teacher to the student with little stick figures and physical adjustments. But what Larry did for yoga is he gave it a language. So he was one of the first teachers to start to put a language to the poses. So Larry was, created a script. Push into the ball of your right foot as you inhale, come up. So before Larry, it was mostly an oral tradition. And slowly with Larry, he began writing it down. We began writing it down. And his vision was to create a teacher training program. And so he was one of the first teachers in the whole wide world to develop an actual teacher training program that got people, yogis that were interested in practicing yoga, able to teach yoga, able to instruct yoga. So Larry was a forward thinker. He had his studio in San Francisco. He was known as a mystic. And also, you know, he kind of showed us all that we could have a good time. He was kind of the king of a good time, without having to go out to the bars every night. You know, instead we would practice yoga together, eat together, and all of us started to have a lot of fun, embracing a healthier lifestyle. So Larry's energy was charismatic in that way.